Hello, hello, hello. It's episode 6. It's our season finale.
I'm so sad.
I'm not. We need a break.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We need a break. You know what's weird about having a season finale? Like, we actually really don't need to be doing all that because usually the podcasts that have seasons are the ones that they're like storytelling podcasts or and this is certainly not that. But from a logistical perspective, like we were totally new to this. We were very green. And so strategically, that's my word of the week, by the way. I've been using, strategically.
Okay. All right.
We just wanted to make sure that we had a chance to like stop and assess the situation. What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? Do we need to rename our podcast? Which is a recent...
Is that something you're thinking about?
Well, there's a lot of spill podcasts out there. I think we are by far the most entitled to the name of all of the spills because we really do spill some serious guts on here.
Yeah.
But so we're just going to take like a wee little hiatus. And oh god, not the UK Gremlin.
Oh my! Out. I literally have her saved in my phone as the UK Gremlin.
Yeah, it's
with
really
the
sad.
Gremlin face and everything.
It was a really dark time in my life that I go back to like pretty much every weekend. So
the way she says "unlock me" is
speaking
like no other.
Of weekends. Okay,
Tell
Rebecca
me.
was MIA this weekend.
I was.
First of all, it's like mid-June, and I'm just already having the best summer of my life.
So good.
Like the best summer of my life.
Summer 2025.
What did we do this weekend? What did we do on Friday?
You did 3 parties on Saturday.
Oh my gosh. So aggressive. 3 parties.
She's out in these streets.
I had a boat ride. What did I do on Friday? Oh my gosh. Okay, so Friday was my
Johnson.
Yeah, Josh Johnson.
Okay,
it was my sister's birthday, my sister Alicia, and Alicia does not go outside. Like she is she's the opposite of me. Like I'm outside for 3 parties a day and she's like inside from start to finish. So it was so nice to take her and her husband out. I brought our good friend Isaiah, who we hope will come on the podcast.
Zay.
Daddy Zay. We hope he'll come on the podcast. By the way, we hope you guys loved our last guest, Golden Gales. We had I must have listened to that episode like 3 times because...
Not just that dog, honestly, I know I said the dog wasn't like the best looking dog I've ever seen. No, I haven't changed my mind.
Okay, rude.
But it makes up for it in behavior.
She's going to beat you up. I'm going to have to stop a physical altercation.
No, I spoke to Galia. I said, you know what, your dog is kind of like
By the way, your dog is not ugly.
No, I said, your dog is like a 6.5, but because of how she acts and dresses, it makes her a 9. You know what? I stand by that.
Anyway, not you standing 10 toes down on the dog insults. Yeah, so we went and saw...
A 9 out of 10 is a good grade.
We went and saw Josh Johnson, and right now, the Elon Musk and Trump breakup is happening, and he is a political commentator. Like, he's a political comedian / storyteller. So he just had so much material, and one of my favorite things he said that when he got off the plane and he was going through customs, the customs agent asked him, "And what brings you to Canada today?" And he looked at her and he went, "Girl." But what I loved the most about him was his command of the audience. Because I think there's different types of comedians, right? He had 2 openers, and his openers were like really, they had a lot of punchlines. Like they were punchline comedians. And so everybody laughs like every minute and 30 seconds. He is a storyteller. So sometimes it takes 5 minutes for his joke to land. Yeah. And I just respect somebody who can command the attention of an entire audience for that long. Yeah. Speaking of commanding the attention of an audience, I got drunk and made a speech last Thursday. Why didn't you stop me? We talked about this in episode 1.
Because you were doing really well, actually. I have to say, at first when I saw the 3 ketchup stains on her shirt, I thought, is this something I should be intervening with? Honestly. I'm like, is this as a friend, if you care about your friend, usually you stop them from doing it. But honestly, Stephanie, it was like as if you drank 17 glasses of water and you just pulled that speech out of your ass. And I was so proud of you.
So do you want to know why? Because I had
rehearsed.
Practiced. I always do. I rehearsed that speech. So there's an event called Touchpoint Thursdays. And I had rehearsed that speech to deliver.
Shout out Mike.
Shout out Mike and Dubes.
Yeah, and Dubes.
He's over there like, what about me? Don't worry, Dubes. We love you. Yes, we know.
You do a great job, Dubes.
But it's actually Dubes' fault because he called me up to the microphone. And what I heard was, Stephanie, come and tell us the entire career journey that you've had throughout your life. Come and give us your autobiography. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I get up to the microphone and I'm spilling. I was like, well.
She cried. Surprise. She cried.
Guys, listen, please. If you see me having a drink and you see a microphone, put the microphone away. and then lock me in the closet.
Off. Turn the microphone off. No,
like,
but no. Actually,
lock me in the closet with the microphone so that I can just be in there by myself giving a speech to like the broom.
Steph, you gave a good speech.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I was spiraling the next day. And the reason why is because you've been in the room where people are like you know, like the drunk bridesmaid, or like the drunk guy that stands up at a wedding and I didn't want to be that. Yeah. And I didn't think that I was that. But you know when like you wake up the next day and you're like, yeah, I think I did great. And then you're like, but what if I didn't? And yeah, I just, it was, no more speeches, guys, for sure.
It was a good speech. I think you should be proud of what you said.
Thanks so much.
I think you got everybody riled up. It was like, you really motivated us. I think the whole point of Touchpoint Thursdays was to kind of get like career takeaways. And I think you gave that in the speech and it showed. And honestly, I was pleasantly surprised because I knew that you were a bit tipsy coming off of the game. Well, because
I was at the Jays game.
And who doesn't get drunk at a Jays game? Let's be real.
And we won. Go Jays.
Who pays attention even?
Go Jays.
I feel like when you go to the Jays game, I don't even go for the game. I kind of just go as a socializing event.
Yeah, totally. I really just go for the food. I was eating popcorn.
The food is way overpriced.
Well, actually, we brought our own snacks. I am a frugal queen.
Yeah.
So yeah, Saturday was just event after. I was out with Lauren. Can I just say how good of a time Lauren is?
Lauren with a Y.
Lauren with a Y.
We love Lauren.
We recently became friends with Lauren. I know that people are
always for a minute.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Uber
Lauren
Soca Cruise in 2023.
Person.
Yeah. I cannot say enough about the importance of like making new relationships in your late 20s, in your 30s. And sometimes it is just like, hey, do you want to hang out? I've made so many friends by just shooting my friendship shot.
Yeah.
And sometimes you really, really, really luck out. And then Sunday, it was like pretty much the whole gang. Now, I hate to tell this story on Galia's behalf because I know that she could do such a better job than me, but understand that when Galia drinks, she just becomes the loudest, like the happiest person alive, right? So she looked like, you know the iPhone emoji, the lady in red that's like salsa in?
Yeah.
Right.
I love
she's got her red dress on. Ooh. She's looking good. Perfect red lip. Obviously, her teeth are just so perfect.
Galia does
she's like a Colgate, like a literal Colgate model. So what had happened was, by the time I got to the party, because we had a dirty stay out, so we kept, there was second and third locations involved every single time. So we were coming from another event, and I get there, and she's like, so happy to see me. And I'm like, hey, how are you? She's like, I'm great, but I lost my purse. I left it in the Uber.
The crackhead.
Yes. So she left her purse. Don't use that word, by the way. Not a nice word. Not a nice word. We don't know that the person had substance abuse issues. Anyway,
she's right.
So she had contacted the Uber driver right after she got to the party saying, hey, my purse is in there, but the Uber driver didn't answer. So finally she gets a hold of the Uber driver and the Uber driver says, well, I had another passenger and your purse is no longer here. But one thing about Galia puts AirTags on everything, okay? So she had an AirTag on her purse or on her keys. And she didn't have anything insanely valuable, but her keys were in there and the dog was inside her home. So immediately she's spiraling, panicking, trying to figure out how she's going to get back home, get into the apartment to get her dog.
Yeah.
And at the end of the party, first of all, you wouldn't even know that she had lost her purse because she was frolicking, okay? She was frolicking around the place. The photos from the event are hilarious.
Yeah.
But at the end of the night, I get a message saying that she had gone to the home where the AirTag was pinging from. She went into the girl's bedroom and dug her purse out from a garbage bag with actual garbage in it, and she got all her stuff back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is the most insanely dangerous but admirable, respectable thing that you could ever possibly do. And
she's leaving out the fact that she did this with a girl who is at kind of like a halfway house. And this is why we call her a crackhead.
Well, I didn't call her that. I don't use
this. This is why I called her a crackhead. Fun fact about Galia and her AirTags. Once Rebecca said, you know what, Galia, you forgot your purse at Stephanie's and I'm going to take it home and you can come pick it up from my house.
Because she lives closer to her than I do.
And I look at my phone and it's like, there's an AirTag following you. And I'm like, oh my God, Stephanie.
So she calls me.
Somebody's going to try to steal my car. Do I take it to the police station? Do I take it to Mr. Lube and ask them to hoist up the car? It's like Sunday at night.
But the thing was, Rebecca had called me and she's like freaking out. But I think I don't know, I was like a couple of glasses of wine in. And so she called me and she's freaking out. And like, I'm not panicked because I'm like, oh well. And she's freaking out at me because she's like,
I'm trying to kill me. Somebody's going to come at night and stab me.
And I was just like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I was like, I just didn't know, like when it's not, your brain is just not registering the whole, yeah. So then I was like,
you called me. You're like, wait. Didn't you take Galia's bag with you? And then it just turned out it was Galia's bag following me around.
It was hysterical.
It was stupid.
Yeah, so we had a great weekend. We have a lot more great weekends coming up. It's just summertime in the city. And
I think we're booked until August 30th now.
Yeah, the girlies are outside. And also into September.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're booked into September. God. And we have a cottage weekend coming up.
Oh my God, I'm so excited about that.
I love a cottage getaway.
We're going to go paddleboarding. I'm going to bring all the paddleboards. I'm not going
any paddleboarding. I'll tell you that right now.
We're going to do paddleboarding, and it's going to be a great time.
On the shore.
Watch the sunrise.
Drink.
I like
sunrise requires being up early. Ain't nobody going to a cottage to wake up early. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's not that terrible. You know what? If you don't go to bed, it's not bad.
Why would I? Anyways, why would
I do want to talk about my brother's wedding quickly.
Okay, I want to hear about your brother's wedding.
I just want to say my brother's wedding was absolutely fabulous, and there was just
congrats,
one moment.
Daniel.
Yeah,
and Tara,
the terrorist. I call her Tara, the terrorist, because she has a black belt, and she will literally kill you.
Okay, but do we know why she has a black belt?
Because she was like
wanting to protect herself from men.
No, she was on one of those kids that were like just high performing.
Okay.
So
same. I too am a very high performer. I'm kidding. I don't actually.
She was just a high performer, and she got her black belt. And I call her Tara the terrorist because she will choke you out.
I love
with her two thighs.
I love that with two thighs.
Yeah,
but that would be some people's dream, So
yeah. Tara the terrorist. I couldn't have picked a better partner for her, but I think the one thing that was really surreal was I felt like I was saying goodbye to a moment in my life with my siblings. I grew up with 5. There's 5 of us, so 4 siblings. And we grew up very close and as best friends. And I felt like for a very long time, it was just us, the 5 of us together. And there was a moment when we were in the hotel room and like my brother was using the washroom and my sisters were fixing the pins and Jesse was like pouring a drink, and I was in the room and I said, oh, you guys, is it just the 5 of us as siblings in this room? And we got a picture to like document that moment, but I feel like you never kind of think about the fact that it was just you and your siblings, and then you transition to them having loved ones and kids and the family extending, and it feels like you are closing a book chapter on one part of your life and you've officially entered a new one. And it felt so surreal to...
Was it sad?
It was happy and sad. Well, like Inside Out, you can feel 2 emotions at the same time. It was both happy...
Great cartoon movie.
It taught me a lot about my emotions that I had no clue about.
Yeah.
But
those cartoon movies,
I felt both happy, nostalgic, and like I was grieving a moment in my life, where it was just the 5 of us.
I don't want to say envy because there's no malice in what I feel whatsoever.
Yeah.
I've always admired the relationship that you have with your siblings because Rebecca comes from a family of 5 siblings. I also come from a family of 5. We're all girls. And I don't know that we have ever been as close as and I just love that about you guys so much. Like sometimes I'll call Rebecca and she's like, oh, I'm at my sister's house. Like I'm spending the weekend here. A great, amazing aunt to Maya. And what's your nephew's name?
Ari.
Maya and Art. Like you just, I love that. I love
those
when
are my
siblings
kids. Those might as well be my children.
Yeah. I love that.
But it's because I'm just so close to my siblings, and I feel like I'm sure everybody in the audience can relate being really close to somebody and entering a new stage of your life with those people. And the fact that we are all like, one sister's married, one's another soon to be married, the other one just got married, my brother. It just feels like we are officially in the next chapter, and it almost feels like I never recognized that the page turned.
Yeah.
And in that moment, it felt very real.
Yeah.
It felt like, wow, okay, you're not a kid anymore. Yeah. It's not you.
We're not
playing
in Kansas anymore.
N64 in the basement with them. It's not that anymore. It's completely different.
I think one thing that always helps is keeping in mind that the best is yet to come.
Yes.
That is one thing. That wasn't a fart, by the way, if you heard that. That was our producer scooting in his chair with his bottle of 1800, which is half price on Uber Eats. Not sponsored, by the way.
Don't tell them because then they're going to catch on.
They're going to catch on. It's going to be gone. Yeah, the best is yet to come. That's what I firmly believe. Best is yet to come.
I believe that, yeah.
Okay, questiones. Numero uno.
Okay.
Do you believe people can truly change?
Okay, you know what? So one of the things I feel like I've accepted a long time ago is when people show you who they are.
Believe them.
Believe them.
Believe them.
Believe them. They are who they are for a reason. And I feel like unless people have a willingness to see what the change could be in their life, if they have a willingness to see that they can change or that they want to change, it's really never going to happen. It has to come from an internal want, like something that you feel like is missing in your life that you want to achieve. I don't think as an external factor. I think you can kind of steer people in one way or direction, but you need to want to do that for yourself. And actually, our producer said something wonderful about.
I was talking about Isaac Newton.
Yeah, and that things are constantly changing, right? And I think things are constantly changing around us. We either choose to change with them or we fight the change that's happening in our life. Like we just talked about my brother's wedding, right? When he moved out, that was a huge monumental change for me in my life that I felt like I pushed because I
remember you did fight back a lot.
I pushed because I couldn't envision what my life would be like without him being my main supporter. Like, not that he supported me, but as my homie, my best friend, my person, right? And it wasn't until I started to accept that he's going into such a great chapter of his life, and I'm also going into a great chapter of my life, that things can change and turn out for the better, right? And that change doesn't always need to be so scary and hard and painful. It could be something that you look forward to, and though you might not know the outcome, you know that if you are making the right choices and you're doing what's true to your soul, good is going to come from it.
Unless your soul is rotten. I feel a couple things about this. I feel one, we are creatures of habit. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, two, the longer, I don't know why I'm thinking of this person right now, but I am. I'm thinking of Jax Taylor.
Why are you thinking of him?
Do you know Jax Taylor?
I do, yes.
Okay, Jax Taylor's a reality TV star. And I'm thinking
of him. Not
that
familiar, but familiar enough.
I'm thinking of him because I just watched the latest episode of a show called The Valley. And
he beat his wife and was a drug addict?
He did not beat her.
Okay, well, what did you do?
There's never been allegations of physical abuse.
Yeah.
But this guy has been toxic for a very long time.
Yeah.
And there were little glimmers of hope throughout the years. I think he's well into his 40s now. He's at least 45, 46 years old. But in this latest episode, his ex-wife has... So currently, during filming anyway, like in the timeline of the show, he is in rehab. He's got substance abuse issues. And the reason why I didn't like the word crackhead is because I lost my brother to an opioid overdose. So I have a lot of sympathy, a lot of empathy for people with substance abuse issues, because it's so much more than someone just making the decision to, like, what drove them to do that? What societal implications are they? Like, it's really, really deep.
It's definitely deep.
It's deep. So it's not to say that I'm, in a place of judgment or anything, but the fact that even after there were glimmers of hope that he had changed, in the end, he has still revealed himself to be a toxic, narcissist, abusive manipulator. Like in this last episode, it was revealed that he had snuck into the home that they share, bugged the house so that he could spy on his wife, who he's pretty much estranged from at the time. He sent her text messages that she shared on camera, that he's watching her like a hawk. He knows what she's wearing. The home is in foreclosure. He's stopped making payments for the home. He let her know that she would have to be responsible for dealing with that. Yeah. Like the financial abuse, the emotional abuse, the control that this man has wielded over this woman. And first of all, I just want to say that I'm so proud of Britney for leaving. Like, there's been so much commentary online because I write like a weekly column about, you know, like reality shows and whatnot. But she said today, I have it written down exactly what she said because I wanted to quote it in my article.
Yeah. Tell me.
She said, I'm just so terrified that I'm going to allow him to slowly make his way back into my life. So I really need to go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off, get this process started, and move on with my life. And she was in a divorce attorney's office. And for her to have that level of self-awareness, like, well, I might let him back in, but the reason she might let him back in is because that is the control that he wields over her. So when I think of people like that, it is hard for me to change, to believe that people can change. But I do believe that people can grow. I do believe that people can grow. I do believe that people can be fundamentally transformed by the experiences that they have in their lives. And depending on the impact of those experiences, whether it's a death or the birth of a child, which is hugely transformational for people, it can inspire some change. But I feel like the longer you sit in the patterns of who you are at your core, the harder it is to disrupt that pattern, which is great if it means that you have discipline, if it means that you are someone who is inclined to learn new things, if it means that you are someone who is, you know, not afraid to take risks. But if you are someone who has absorbed toxic messaging and you, like Jax, believe in asserting your power and gaslighting people and being a manipulator and never finding fault or taking accountability for what you have done wrong in any given situation, to me, that tells me that that is who you are and you are not going to change.
I don't think it's necessarily about who you are. I think it's about a willingness to change. I think, and it's funny that you brought up drug addiction, because I think what is the difference between people who don't overcome drug addiction and people who stay stuck in drug addiction? And some of them are just, they stick through the willingness to change, right? And it's not, I feel like it's not necessarily easy for everybody to
change.
It's not, you have to want it. I think at the end of the day, you have to want to change.
It's more than just wanting it, though. It's more than just wanting it. I don't think that people just wake up and decide to, you know, live their lives in a certain way that they know is unhealthy. And they know, I think if you have spent your life being a certain way and you've fared very well, which, to be honest, Jax Taylor has. He is the only person, we are watching real-time abuse play out on national television. Yeah. And he is not being held to proper account. I mean, the guy
people who are not holding him account. That's a problem.
He's made serious money and fame for himself. Yeah, being like an asshole and being a Lothario, and you know, and then that creates an ethical dilemma for me, because there I am, you know, eating it up, and I tune in every week. So I think people can grow. I think people can be inspired to change, but I do think that at your core, you are who you are.
Or you have to want it if you want to change
people
fundamentally.
Are people, so why should you know?
Maybe the whole reason Jax hasn't changed though is because he hasn't seen a different side of what he can be, and he doesn't know better.
He's crazy. I don't know.
You could be crazy, yeah.
Question number 2.
Okay.
What white celebrity has aged impeccably?
You know what? I'm gonna go all the way to the end of the spectrum, and I'm gonna say Jane Fonda. And I would also say...
not end of the spectrum. That is so ageist. Haley would be so mad.
No, it's not... I feel like when some people say age impeccably, maybe they're thinking about people in their 40s or 50s.
Okay, fair.
Like J-Lo. But I'm saying like people who are like 87 and 79. So I would say Jane Fonda, honestly, Jane, whoever your surgeon is, you've done a fantastic job.
Has she had work? Like, has she come out and say that she's... Well, has she come out and say that she's had work?
She hasn't come out, but I think she's probably on her 7th facelift.
I'm screaming.
No, seriously.
Not you counting.
And I'm not saying anything against it.
Okay, so it says she's openly discussed her history with plastic surgery, breast implants, facelifts, work on her eyes and jawline. Yep. She stopped undergoing cosmetic procedures because she worried about looking distorted and potentially becoming addicted.
Yep.
She has also expressed some regret about having the procedures done, saying that she hates the fact she didn't allow herself to age naturally.
Well, okay, this is the thing, and I'm not saying anything against Helen Mirren, But Jane,
I'm screaming,
looks fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm not saying,
and Helen Mirren doesn't. Hold on, I'm
not
looking up
saying
a
she
picture of Helen
doesn't,
Mirren.
but it is. You can tell one has done work.
Oh, yeah,
and that
you're right.
Some has not.
Yeah,
right?
You're right. And Helen is younger than her, actually.
And I'm not saying that Helen doesn't have her own look. Just like I love what Pamela Anderson is doing with her like natural bare face.
Yeah,
like,
but Alicia Keys did it first.
Yes, Alicia Keys did it first.
We
but then
are the
Alicia
blueprint.
Keys came out with a makeup line, which was a really confusing messaging, I think.
Oh, she went bare as she came up with the makeup line?
After she went bare and then came out with a makeup line.
Oh, makeup
line. And then
line.
you're like, oh, okay, so like, is it bare face or is it makeup line?
Is it makeup? Yeah.
Okay. With Pamela, the thing is I really don't think Pamela doesn't use at least tinted moisturizer. No, seriously, I really don't. But at the end of the day, I like her bare face look. Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
I think she needs to fill in her eyebrows.
I
think everybody needs to fill in their eyebrows
and filled in her eyebrows.
Okay,
permanently.
Yeah, she needs to. Yeah,
like microblading.
She needs to get an eyebrow tattoo. I got an eyebrow tattoo in 2014.
Yeah?
I got a $90 deal on Groupon.
Oh God!
I went and I got my eyebrows tattooed by a Middle Eastern woman. No disrespect to the Middle Eastern people, but they like a very specific eyebrow tint. And let me tell you,
what color?
Red. It was red. I got home. I looked at myself in the mirror.
At least it wasn't green.
It wasn't green, but sometimes that too can happen with an eyebrow tattoo.
Yeah.
I went home, I looked myself in the mirror, I screamed and cried, and I called my best friend Jasmine. I called Jasmine over immediately, and she came, and in the sweetest voice ever, she said, "It doesn't look that bad." And then I looked myself in the mirror, and I was like, "Yes,
Did you look like Angry Bird?"
I look like Groucho Marx. It was horrible. It was the worst experience of my life.
So what did you do?
They've grown out. Now. I just had to eat it. Do you ever see me share photos of me from 2014? No,
I guess you could have done tattoo removal, though. It would have sucked.
No, I'm never.
That would have sucked.
Do you have anybody else for people who have white celebrities that have aged impeccably?
Well,
and if you're wondering why we haven't asked about black celebrities that aged impeccably, no disrespect, but like literally the black celebrities are aging impeccably, like all of them. We'd be better off calling out
from Abbott Elementary, Cheryl.
Oh, Cheryl Lee Ralph.
Oh my God.
She is drop the skincare routine.
Honestly, whatever she's
beautiful.
doing.
She's beautiful and she's radiant. And it comes from inside, I feel.
Viola Davis?
Yeah.
She is a stunner.
Yeah. Kerry Washington. Yeah. All of them. So beautiful. But my picks for white celebrities that have aged impeccably.
Did they have a head transplant? And when I say head transplant, like they just changed everything.
Is a head transplant a thing?
Bella Hadid and Kylie Jenner, I feel like both of them had head transplants.
It's not a whole head. That's...
Honestly,
you can't just say things like that. We're gonna get
but
sued
it's
for libel.
The truth, and I respect it.
First of all, what are the logistics of a head transplant?
But you know what I'm saying? Like you were one thing, and now you are something else. That's what I mean. And I don't hate it. You know what? If I could buy a face, I would too.
Oh my God, you don't need to change your face. Your face is beautiful.
That's sweet.
Sheryl Crow.
Yeah,
Sheryl Crow. She is banging.
She does a great job.
Still at her big age. I'm also going to say Jennifer Aniston.
She's got some work, but she's got good work.
But yeah, it looks natural.
Good.
Okay.
Demi fixed her face too.
Demi Moore.
Yeah, she fixed her face. It was messed up at one point and then she fixed it.
I love a brown hair, blue eye combo. Mm-hmm. Brown hair, blue eyes is like, well, I don't know, maybe her hair is black because it's pretty dark. But yeah. And my third, our Canadian queen, Alanis Morissette.
Oh, you know what? She looks good.
I saw a picture of her the other day and I was like,
get it, queen.
Yeah, Alanis Morissette. I have so much respect for her. Also, have you seen Kris Jenner's new face?
No, is it good?
Oh my, you haven't seen her new face?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
Does she still look like a Kardashian?
She does. Look at her. Wait.
Oh. You know what? This is crazy. What I love about having good money and a good surgeon. Oh my God.
She looks like Kim.
She bought literally Kim's face.
She bought that face. She
that
spent
is awesome.
Money on that.
That is good. And you know what? I can't hate a woman who has the pockets to go to a good surgeon and make it work.
Okay, speaking of money and pockets, can money buy you happiness?
Oh, okay. This is question number 2.
No, this is question number 3.
Oh, sorry. Question number 3.
Question number 3.
Okay. To an extent, absolutely. I think if you are stressed about paying your bills and meeting like your monthly expenses, money could definitely buy you a lot less stress, but they have like this threshold of, I think it's like maybe 120. In Toronto I'd probably say 170 of like how much you earn a year, where you just, it doesn't matter how much more you make, your happiness doesn't increase by a significant level. I think.
Can I tell you something that's wrong with that statistic though?
What?
I earn 6 figures, but I'm single. So realistically, I earn the amount that I would if I lived with a man. So when they do this, are they accounting for single people that are raising children?
I do think that they.
What is the household income supposed to be? Because I'm telling you, like, I assumed that it was going to be. Like, I remember signing the papers for this job and I was like, oh my God, this is going to change my life. Life, not changed. Changed. It's, you know, like, I am 100% responsible for the finances for me and my child. And listen, I want to be very clear. Mm-hmm. There are people who have it so much worse and are also single and like way worse off than I will ever be. But I think it's frustrating to hear, or just that the assumption that if you earn a certain amount, you must be living very, very well, because there's so much nuance to that. This is one of the most expensive cities to live in North America, whether you're in the downtown core or in the suburbs like I am. Childcare fees, astronomical. I went back to work after 3 months on mat leave because I wanted to keep my foot in the door. That was more of like a strategic career decision. Mm-hmm. But the messed up thing about that is that even if you do go to work, you know what they do? You're working for free because they just take that money out of your EI. When they say that like Canada is this amazing place, and it is, I want to be very clear, especially with all of the chaos and the riots that are happening with our neighbors to the south. Mm-hmm. There are so many, it's so layered. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no.
I'm like, let me just give you the real on that one.
Well, I feel like it's not necessarily about putting a dollar figure in it and saying more along the lines of how much more stuff can you acquire to fill the gaps of your life, right? Is you buying more things or having the ability to buy more things going to increase your happiness?
100%.
I think for some people it doesn't. I think you are. I think you're putting Band-Aids over things.
Band-Aids on bullet holes. Okay, so do I feel like money can buy you happiness? No. Do I feel like money can afford you certain freedoms? Yes. Do I feel like freedom equates to some level of happiness? Absolutely. So have you heard of a show called Loot?
Yes.
Yeah. Loot with Maya Rudolph, an amazing actress, talented. Also Minnie Ruperton's daughter, which I didn't know.
I didn't know that
Is it
either.
Ruperton or Ripperton? I'm sorry, I'm not doing her justice.
I
She's a legend. I should know this.
Okay.
I think it's Minnie Ruperton. I think so. I don't know. I'm going to Google it after. But the show is about Maya Rudolph, who is married to a billionaire. Like he shits money into a toilet. Yes, cheated on her with either the assistant or the nanny or something, and then they have to get a divorce. And she has all of this money, and she's on all of these charity boards that she doesn't even know that she's on, and she decides that she's gonna like somehow get involved. And they are really trying to like actually do work for the community. And she comes in and she just throws money at everything. And they're like, whoa, that's not what we stand for. Like we actually want to work for the community. And so she starts to donate like all of her money to charities and to like developing homes for people who are experiencing homelessness. And she essentially just like connects with the part of her that money had disconnected her from. I feel like you can have all of the money in the world, but if you do not have community, if you do not have empathy, if you do not have genuine friendships and relationships with the people around you, what do you have? You are living in the lap of luxury, and who are you going to share that with? Who are you going to break bread with? So I think that money can give you great experiences, but I think true wealth comes from good health, because again, no amount of money in the world can get you out of having bad health. It doesn't matter, like you can go to the fanciest, most world-renowned hospitals, but if it's your time, it's your time. And if you are, if your health is in decline, there is nothing that will humble you more than having a health emergency on your hands. So I think number one, wealth comes from having good health. Wealth comes from having a good spirit, a clean conscience, a good community, a good group of people around you. But money helps. Like, let's
does
be
help,
real.
but I think about people with mentalities, right? And I think it's, do you appreciate the blessings in your life or not? I know some people who could have literally 2 cents to rub together to even come up with a meal, and yet they're probably one of the happiest people that you would ever meet. And then you see people who have everything that they could ever want
and are still unhappy.
And they're still unhappy because they can't appreciate the blessings that are in their life, right?
You know what? When I was I can't remember how old I was, but my friend had brought me to their friend's home. And these were Filipino people. I feel like we talk about Filipino people every episode of this podcast.
Shout out to the Filipinos.
Shout out to the Filipinos, the most hospitable people ever. These people lived in a very small, very like rundown basement apartment. And they welcomed us in. They offered us food. They made us so comfortable, so cozy. And I think the one thing that I've realized in my life, not coming from a family with a lot, and I just went on my trip back to my dad's homeland, and he showed me his childhood home, and it was like a wooden house on stilts.
Yeah.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
Gratitude is the ultimate richness, I feel.
Yeah.
And gratitude also begets more blessings, I feel. Like the more truly grateful you are for what you have in your life, I feel like the more you attract. 100%.
Yeah, it's definitely a combination of like gratitude and just recognizing that things could be technically worse.
Yep.
Things could always be worse, and that if you don't, like, you can't take these things, these things that we can acquire in life, you don't take them with you. The only thing guaranteed in life is death. And I think once you recognize that.
And change, remember.
Death and change. Yes, death and change. And I think once you recognize that these things in our life that are filling the voids, or that we're trying to, patch over some hurts or traumas with, they're not actually the core of what we're trying to fix, and they're not going to fill the void.
Okay, but I also feel like, so if I'm having a really good day or a really bad day, sometimes I'll be like, I'm going to buy myself a treat.
But you have to buy another treat on another bad day, right?
Not really. I reject the notion that if I buy myself something, I'm trying to cover up some like deep-seated wound, or I'm trying to like keep up with the Joneses. Like I've always wanted like a really expensive purse, but not because I'm trying to, like, just because I like the feeling like I wanted this thing, I worked hard for it, I bought it.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I buy myself a treat, it's like, okay, I want to buy, I don't know, some makeup from Sephora, or like a little candle or something.
Yeah.
It feels rewarding, but I don't feel like I'm doing this because I'm materialistic, or I'm doing this because I'm trying to cover up some. It's just nice to buy yourself something.
I know, but I think I asked myself, why do I want to buy something?
Why do you want to buy something?
Is it a distraction?
Well, for me? I want you to answer that, because you have the listen to me.
Do not.
From the time that I've known this girl, she has had so just stuff like scarves, sweaters. If you see shoes at this, so what? Why do you want to buy stuff?
I think.
Are you still that way?
Stephanie knows I love a good jacket. She knows that I love
a good everything.
I love a good outfit. I am a bit of a fashion girly, but I recognize that most of my purchasing is me engaging in distractions and trying to distract myself from the final goal of what makes me happy. And yes, in the moment, me buying a dress that makes me feel confident and great feels good. But why is it the dress and me purchasing it part of the process? Why can't you feel good regardless of what you're wearing? And I think to myself, we live in a society that has taught us there's things we need to feel good. And I think for a long time, I subscribed to, if I had this, I would be happy. If I bought that, it would bring me joy. If I filled my room with this item, I would feel satisfied. And the satisfaction is never completely there, because the second I buy that one thing, my mind is onto something else, right? And I think if I don't sit there in the stillness of, you know what, actually, when I'm making my way to the cremation fireplace or like the casket,
do you want to be
cremated? I'm not going to have any of these things. Do you want to be
cremated?
I would like to be crushed into a diamond, just so you know. Oh my God. I want to be crushed into a diamond. I want to be rocked.
That's pretty badass.
I want to be rocked on the streets. I want you to wear me as a necklace.
Yeah, but who do you want to wear you?
My niece. I would be happy if my niece wore me as a necklace, or like if I have kids, something ridiculous. You could literally throw me at the top of a mountain and I would be happy about it. And then somebody found me and be like, oh, a diamond. It's like, actually, it's Bex.
Dead body. That is so funny. Okay, that's very honest of you. So thank you for sharing that.
I don't want to like forget the assignment, and I don't want to fill my stuff with things because things are easily replaceable. And what I want now is going to be replaced with what I want tomorrow and what I want 5 years from now. And I think thinking about what your happiness is outside of things is important.
What is your happiness outside of things?
My family, genuine connections, creating lasting memories, friendship, loyalty, like things that aren't things, you know, memories. I think experiences and memories are what's more important to me, despite my closet saying otherwise.
Okay. Love that. Last question. What has starting this podcast taught you?
I'll let you start with that.
I think the biggest thing that it's taught me is that
I'm nervous.
No, like this was an idea for so long. It was
Her idea specifically.
My idea. But this was inspired by so many people saying like, oh my gosh, I could watch you guys all day long. Like you guys are always up to some antics. You're so fascinating. You're so funny. Rah, rah, rah. I agree with all of that. But I think that we are also very multifaceted. I think we are at our core, two women in our 30s navigating very different lives.
Very different.
But like connecting, like getting through it together, right? Mm-hmm. Like I'm a mom. Rebecca doesn't really date so much. I live on my own.
Don't expose me.
No, like we've talked about that, but I just to have a place to kind of like come and collectively put our experiences and our insights and our wisdom and our knowledge and our jokes and our humor and our serious moments and all of that stuff. I feel like I have been completely vindicated in saying that this was worth doing. And that to me is the ultimate satisfaction. Like the reception has been good. And to me, like sometimes I'll check the YouTube views and I'm like, okay, great, 56 views. But I check our insights on the actual like podcast hosting website. Do you know that we have listeners in the Ukraine and in Poland and in Mexico and in the UK?
Are they using VPNs?
I have no idea, but I just, you know, like people have come up to us in public and they're like, by the way, I really like your podcast.
That was surprising.
Yeah, like there's clips online and people are like, this is hilarious or this was really insightful. Your kindness costs nothing clip got so much attention. People share our stuff a lot. And that really warms my heart. So I think what I've learned is that if you have an idea, do what you need to do to put it in action. Mm. And if you don't succeed in the way that you want to, you have two choices. You can either stop, pivot, recalibrate, and find a new way of doing that, or you can throw in the towel completely. But I think the key is just trying. Like if you try and you fail and you're like, okay, so one goal that I had was I wanted to learn how to DJ. And so I got like the mixer and everything, and I did it for like 3 days and I was like, you know what? This shit is hard. And I stopped doing it. Yeah. And I don't ever, like, I'm never down on myself for not continuing with that, because I was like, I look at people who have had successful careers and, you know, like some people just do it for a hobby. Some people do it for a career. But the amount of years that it takes to invest is it's an insane amount of time. And I did it. I tried it. It was fun. It was cool. But because I tried it, I knew that it wasn't something that I was ready to pursue and take seriously at this point in my life. But I tried, and that made it good enough for me. And with this podcast, it was like we did all of the research on like, where do we record? What kind of format do we want to do? What do we want to, yeah, thanks, Dubes. What do we want to name it? We did all of that stuff. And Rebecca was really worried that it might come in between our friendship. And it hasn't. I think it's actually brought us closer because she's really like, I don't want to cry.
Oh, don't cry. You're going to make me cry.
I just love that I brought this idea to you and you weren't on board. And then you were like, you know what? Let's do it. And I love so much that you trusted me. And
I'm not going to cry.
I love that this brought us closer. I love that this brought us closer. I've so looked forward to like sitting and listening to like what happened in your life this week. And my favorite thing is actually when you tell me like, don't worry, I'm going to save it for the podcast. And then I get to hear it like just with a fresh set of ears. And you're awesome.
That's really sweet. I think I've learned a lot about
Obviously,
this podcast.
You haven't learned to talk into the mic.
No, I haven't. Not yet. I've always known this, but I feel like I got to experience it firsthand as Stephanie's creative like touch and vision. When she came to me with this idea, I literally laughed at her.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, no.
I'm like, Stephanie, first off, I don't even have social media. Why do you think I'm going to go on camera with you and just like discuss things?
Yeah.
That seems stupid. And she's like, Bex, we have something. And I'm like, I get that we have a friendship, but I don't think the internet wants to hear it. And she's like, no, I think I have a vision for it. And I've told you this multiple times. The only reason I've done this podcast is to support Stephanie in her vision. And I know what she's capable of. And I think to myself, as long as I'm cheering her on, I can't do wrong, right? Like it's going to turn out well. And I feel like the one thing I've learned is just to trust what Stephanie has as a vision and that she can see things that I can't see. And I can really appreciate that. And I think actually another thing that I learned is that maybe people are actually interested in what you and I have to say. Maybe, because I remember my main reservation with this was Stephanie. Truthfully, nobody wants to hear what we have to say. Like nobody. Yes, they come to us for advice, and yes, they come to us to, help steer them in their lives. But nobody on the internet genuinely wants to hear.
Can I tell you something about the internet? One thing that I've learned, there are two types of people on the internet, okay? There are consumers and there are producers and creators, right? Yeah. You would not believe the amount of people who have no posts on their page but watch every single one of my stories. People, listen to me. I'm going to show you something, okay? Because I only recently started paying attention to this. But when I go to my Instagram profile, it tells me how many views I've had in the last 30 days. And I want you to look at this number. 140,000 views in the last 30 days. I am an organic personal page. I'm not a business page. I have less than 3,500 followers. Thank you to Amina for teaching me the difference between the greater and less than sign. I'll tell you that story after when we go out.
The alligator always eats the bigger number.
I know, and I forgot. And Amina sent me a voice note just to make sure that I understood. But this is what I know. It's that there are some people who, and I was talking to a woman, actually, an old colleague of mine that I saw on Saturday. She was like, I respect that you are so comfortable sharing because I am not. I am not a sharer, and I'm trying to become more comfortable sharing. So there are people who are just not comfortable sharing, who find either comfort or entertainment or joy, maybe judgment in people who share. But they will still watch, and they will still enjoy, and they will still engage. And I think if you just put it out there, they will come. They will come. And depending on what it is that you're putting out there, that can determine if they stay. But the only difference between, I think, the people who succeed and the people who don't is the people who try. Like if you just try, you never know.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Yep.
Right. I watched the Alex Cooper Call Her Daddy documentary. It's actually called Call Her Alex. And this is a famous podcaster who runs she's
I listened to the first one when it was her and the girl.
She's the most influential female podcaster in the world. She's probably more influential than Mel Robbins, I would say, even though I think I
would take Mel Robbins' advice 10 times out of
but Alex,
10 over Alex.
Alex is not giving advice. Alex is just giving her real life experience and whatnot.
Yeah.
But the documentary essentially follows her doing her first tour called the Unwell Tour.
Yeah.
And these are sold out dates in cities where she is just going around and sharing her story. And that is how she amassed the fame that she did. And I just don't think that people understand how much power there is in showing up on social media. And I've always tried to do that and be as authentic as possible in my doing of that. And like, yeah, am I opening myself up for judgment? Am I opening myself up for criticism? And I opening all that stuff? Sure. I'm sure a lot of these 140,000 views are people that are coming to laugh or to cringe or to whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm just doing me, and I'm having a great time doing it, and I'm very committed to my joy, and I just want to inspire other people to also take their joy very seriously. And on that, I want to end with a message that I received from somebody that made me ugly cry. It really doesn't...
Are you surprised that she ugly cried? This is like Stephanie's
It really does not take me much to cry.
She literally ugly cried with the baseball story.
Okay, wow. It wasn't the baseball story that made me cry. Oh, wait.
It was hitting the chick
when I hit the girl.
with the ball and the side of her head.
Stop living in the past. That was like 2 weeks ago. So this person sent me a DM on Instagram, and she said, side note, I want to say thanks. I recently became a single mom and I'm finding my own groove back slowly but surely. For so long, I let society tell me I shouldn't behave certain ways, even though it was authentic to me. Or I'd feel so guilty about just having fun and living my life for me, not just my daughter at all times. And I feel like your life inspires me to just be myself and have fun and enjoy myself. I lost myself in that past relationship and motherhood, but you've given me hope that things will be all right. Are you kidding me?
That's very sweet.
Like, your life inspires me to just be myself and have fun and enjoy myself. Mission accomplished. That's all I ever want to inspire people to do, is to have fun. Like,
have fun. Not
joy
just have
is
fun,
your divine birthright. I truly do.
Not just joy, though.
Oh, God, Rebecca.
It's not just joy.
Anyways, do you have anything that you need to get off your chest before we wrap our entire first season?
No, I love you.
Love you too.
I think
you drive me knuckin' futs sometimes, but
this is the thing.
I love you.
could say exactly this.
Less nuts than you drive me because I'm responsive. Because I text back.
Well, and I'm a runner, and I go into my shell.
Yeah, she does.
But at the end of the day, I am grateful for this crazy, ridiculous journey you have taken me on. I'm grateful that you have given me a voice that I didn't think I had, and that you've put me out there in ways I don't feel comfortable, but it's probably good for me. I thank Dubes for giving us the space to do that.
Being the producer extraordinaire and always having the drinks ready. There's like literally...
Not just that, but he's sweet,
like 6 bottles of 1800 over there.
Cheerleader. We will be going to his wedding. We will be literally doing...
Wedding. Like, he's not even engaged.
I don't care. Anyway. I'm going to his wedding and I'm ready for it. All right. Okay? We're going to be cheerleaders there.
Okay, sure.
And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful. Life is good. Life is good.
I love that for you and for me. Do we have a song of the day?
I didn't really have a song of the day, but we can do the last song that was on my playlist. And the last song was Love of My Life by Erykah Badu and Common.
Love Common. He's
I heard
so
it
hot.
A while ago.
Listen,
and I forgot.
love
He's
a
little bit
bald
toxic,
man.
Though. He's a little bit toxic.
Love a bald man.
But from what I hear, is you don't want to date him.
Yeah, he has made his... Yeah, but he's still with Jennifer Hudson.
You know what? Maybe she like maybe he was felt so shamed.
Awards the other day.
You know what? Jennifer's very talented.
Well, she's an EGOT winner. Like she has
Yeah.
She's got it all. She's got the Emmy, the Grammy, the Oscar, and the Tony. Like, and
Whoopi Goldberg's also an EGOT winner.
Is she?
Yeah, she is.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah. She was the first Black female to be an EGOT winner.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What? It must feel so nice to like win an award. If I win $2 on a scratch ticket, I'm like, oh my God. This is amazing. I want to thank my fans. Amazing.
Is there anything you want to get off your chest?
You know what? For once in my life, no.
Surprise.
I know. And it's, surprise. I'm so surprised you know that because
Rebecca knows
that's
nothing.
a social trend. Well, when I asked her what her song of the day was, she said, "Cause I'm too messy." That like,
yeah.
But
I
was like,
didn't know that was...
I don't know. I'm so turned off of songs that become
social
trends.
Is that a social song?
Yeah, it's like a trending song. I don't know what the trend is that people use it for, but I hear it all the time, and I'm like, oh, shut up, leave me alone.
You know what? I literally, I was just at my sister's house, and in the background, it came on. I was like, wow, this message is very interesting and nice. I didn't realize it was
the message was interesting and nice.
It was kind of like, you can't be perfect.
When you listen to a song, do you listen more for like the beat and the rhythm, or are you listening to like the lyrics?
It depends on what state I'm in.
Oh,
you know, it really does. Sometimes you just need some trap music to like.
I never need trap music. That's one thing in my life I never need. Like I might need a Band-Aid. I might need a glass of. I never need trap music. I'm never like, gym, oh, I need it.
When I'm at the gym, I love a good soca playlist because, like, I feel like if you're running on the treadmill, like the.
Do you know what song is going to get you over the finish line every single time?
What
and this
song?
Is crazy for me to say because I'm usually a soca girl. Work Bitch by Britney Spears. When I was in my runner era, which I am not in anymore and will probably not be in for the foreseeable future, when I was struggling, I would put on that song and there's something about that and she's like, you better work, bitch. I'm like, you know what? I better. And I'm sprinting. I'm sprinting down the road like I'm running away from the killer.
Workout,
by who?
I know he's not a popular guy right now. But workout, sometimes when I hear workout, like J. Cole has a workout song and Kanye West has a workout song. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm going to work out.
Yeah, he was so much better in his olden days, man. I don't know what happened.
I think he kind of lost a screw or five.
Well, he was in that Kardashian family. Like, that will screw any black man up. Tristan Thompson.
I think Harley Patrick kind of has something to do with it.
Lamar Odom. No black man has ever gone into that family and come out unscathed. What's that next one? Corey Gamble. I think he's the one with Chris. So we'll see how he does. I'm surprised he's
normal,
lasted.
But I know nothing about anything, so
yeah, that's true.
I just I'm like, oh, he wore a suit today. He seems he's not wearing like a full baklava and walking around with a naked wife.
He is looking normal.
He's looking normal.
It's giving normal. Yeah, that's hilarious. Okay, well, thank you so much for listening to us and for downloading our episodes and stuff. If you haven't liked and subscribed and rated us 5 stars, 6 stars if you can. Kidding, that's not possible. Please do. We will be back. This is not the end of us.
If you guys want to put in the comment page any suggestions.
This is how you know she said comment page. Ma'am, there's literally no comment page. That's not a thing. It doesn't exist.
Okay.
What she means is comment section.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Our DMs. We also have an email. You can email us at podthespill@gmail.com.
Yeah, if you want to discuss something.
If you have feedback, if you have criticism,
you can tell us that we hate. No, I like constructive criticism. And if you want to tell us the worst parts about our show, I'm here for it. Don't send it to Stephanie. Nice. Just say CC Bex.
Yeah, just say red flag. This is rude, and then I'll know for Rebecca to read it, and she can water it down and then read it to me.
I like constructive criticism.
Yeah, I don't. I cry every single time. So please be nice.
She only likes praise.
Yeah.
She'll tell
you. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back. Party, have fun. Joy is your divine birthright. Remember that.
Yeah, and we have so many stories to tell them about,
and we're gonna have more.
Grenada.
I know we're gonna have more. It's gonna be a great summer. It's gonna be a great summer. Okay, bye, friends.
Bye, guys.
Good job, girl.
Good job. We did it.